Elizabeth asked me best equipment for home gym. I'm not too familiar with her background, her experience, um, and what she's experimented, what kind of training she's done. So I'm gonna answer this, uh, assuming that who's ever interested in this question has not really any experience training, strength and conditioning wise, fitness wise. Uh, not too sure what they should be doing, so therefore they don't know what equipment they need. Um, there's a lot of mistakes you can make, like ordering something you saw on a commercial for a couple $1,000s, and then it ends up collecting dust, and you don't know what went wrong. Okay, was there something else I should have bought, or something I should have been focusing on? So there's two questions you got to answer before you buy equipment to save money and save space in your house. First question is, where are you going to put it? Is it going in the bedroom, the living room, or the garage? Because if it's going in the living room or the bedroom, you may not want a full setup like I have in my garage. All right. It can be bulky, it can do damage, it can be heavy, depending on what you buy. There's some things I would put in the garage that I need, that I would not put in the living room or the bedroom. Um, so the other question is, what should you be doing? You should be focusing on fundamentally universal motor recruitment patterns. Okay, remember that. Universal motor recruitment patterns. They're the movements, recruitment patterns, movements that show up in everything you do, uh, even if it looks a little different, looks like a variation. Okay, walking and running have this generally the same patterns. Okay, there's all kinds of different squats, but they all have generally the same patterns. All right, they're using an ankle, knee, and hips. They're flexing and extending. The muscles are generally doing the same thing. So if you're good at one squat, you'll probably be good, or at least competent, at another squat or a variation of that leg movement. Okay, so let's start with the upper body. You need presses and you need pulls. It's generally what the arms do. That's it. Everything else is just a micro segment of that movement or a variation of that movement. Like a bicep curl is just a segment of a pull. Okay, if I pull, I'm still bicep curling, but I'm also adding some shoulder movement into it. All right, so a lot of times I smoke my biceps. I get my biceps get sore from my pulling workouts, and I don't even need bicep curls. So start with the presses, upper body. You need a vertical press and you need a horizontal press. All right, your shoulder press, which is with a barbell or handstand push-ups, and then you have your horizontal press, which is bench press or push-ups. If you're good at those recruitment patterns, those movements, horizontal and vertical, then you're going to be pretty good at anything in between that's pushing, say like dips. Okay, I was already, and here's a decent example. Uh, I was already really good at bench press and shoulder press. I started out doing those first when I started training when I was like 13. Bench press, shoulder press, the barbell. Okay. Later on, I added handstand push-ups when I discovered those, and lo and behold, I was pretty good out the gate. Okay, a lot of people can't do one handstand push-up when they first start, but I could do a handstand push-up or more because I was already strong at bench press and shoulder press. So adding the handstand push-ups in wasn't too much of a challenge for me. All right. Also later on, I added jerks. All right, that's Olympic weightlifting. That's putting a barbell over your head. That's a power movement. You're using leg drive, and you're getting in and getting under and bracing the barbell. There's a pressing motion, and there's the lockout motion at full extension, which the bench press and the shoulder press both train. So I was able to excel quickly, rapidly, above average to a heavier weight than people with my experience would normally be at. Okay. It didn't, for example, it didn't take me long to get to 315. I remember when I broke that, that was my first goal, was get to 315 on a jerk. And it didn't take me long because I already had a 390 bench press and 240 shoulder press and handstand push-ups under my belt, which all transferred to the jerk. The stabilization, the shoulder strength, the limb strength to be able to hold that bar overhead. All right, so uh, remember, that's just examples of how these patterns I'm talking about that you need to be doing. These are the things you need to be doing in your home gym, in your Globo gym, no matter where you go. If they're not doing these patterns, then it's a waste of your time. If they're doing something silly like prancercise, you know, those things fall in the category of better than nothing. All right, I prefer to live in the category of best. What's the best thing I should be doing? Not the better than nothing thing. So the best thing I should be doing is training these universal patterns to the best of my ability. Okay, get my presses really strong. All right, and then you can take uh, your presses and you can add them into your conditioners. All right, to rev up your cardiovascular system in the form of metabolic conditioners, circuits. Um, it's just doing these things faster and with smaller breaks. Okay, so with the presses, you need a barbell. Okay, get a barbell and a set of plates, preferably bumper plates, because they protect your environment and they make less noise, sort of. Uh, and they protect your barbell too. The because if you don't have to drop the barbell, but there are moments where it's okay to drop the barbell, and for the sake of certain performance goals, it's better to just drop the barbell. Like when you're Olympic weightlifting or when you're doing metabolic conditioners, you don't want to set the bar down because it just slows down the conditioner, or uh, it can add unneeded work that takes away from the work that you want to focus on. All right, returning the bar to the ground every time can reduce the number of cleans that you want to do or the number of snatches that you want to do. So get bumper plates if you can afford them. Usually they're more expensive. And a barbell. And when you pick out a barbell, get a barbell that spins, that rotates. The sleeves should rotate. It shouldn't be sticky. If you get a economy bar from Modell's or Academy Sports or Walmart, the sleeves are going to be junk. All right. And also the knurling, the bumps on the bar, they should be grippy. You don't want that slippery. All right. So when you do cleans or snatches, it'll rotate right out of your hand. So uh, that should be the first piece of equipment: barbell plus plates. People often go for the dumbbells first, and they pick out a set that they want to be their universal weight they use for everything. Quickly get bored of that set of dumbbells, don't want to pay for another set, and then don't train anymore, and they collect dust. And they realize that's going to take up a lot of space, and it's going to cost more money every time you need a different weight. You You need another 5 pound increment. You bought 20s, now you need 25s. There's another 50 to $100 out the window every time you need a new set. After the barbell, start investing in dumbbells. So barbell, you can hit almost all the recruitment patterns with a barbell. It saves space. It's super effective. It's created world-class fitness, and the elite athletes still use it as their primary piece of equipment. So invest in a nice set, cherish it, be proud of it, use it, create a monster. Okay, so presses, vertical, horizontal. Same with pulling, vertical and horizontal. Pull-ups, pull-downs. Okay, rows, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, seated rows. The concept to rower. All right, horizontal pulling, ring rows. All right, what if you have those two pulls? Then you have the universal motor recruitment pattern for pulling, well trained. So any other weird pull that comes across your path, you'll be able to do. I don't know, say like you see people doing rope pulls with a tire or a sled, pulling it to them like this. All right. Say you're trying to pull somebody out of a cliff or a well to save their life. You can do that too. All right. So that's all you need for pulls is a pull-up bar and a barbell. Okay. Or a pull-down machine. Pull-down machine would obviously I think at this point of the conversation would be the last thing I would buy. It'd be a nice to have. Pull-up bar, if you can't do a body weight pull-up, then you can scale the body weight pull-up with a body weight row. Okay, it's a horizontal pull, but it still trains the universal recruitment pattern of pulling. It hits the biceps, the lats, the back of the shoulders. It flexes the elbow, and would I be flexing the shoulder? Okay, hits that shoulder movement. Whether it's from above or here, it's still basically the same shoulder movement. So your body weight rows will transfer to your body weight pull up. They will get you there, help get you there, get you one if you don't have one. And you can graduate your body weight rows. You can make them harder. The more you stand up on your body weight rows, the easier it is. The more you lay down, the harder it is. And you can use rings, or you can use a barbell set on a rack on the J cups, and you can change the levels of that barbell, and you can do rows, reverse rows, or body weight rows like that, pulling yourself to the bar, get underneath it. So you have a horizontal pull and a vertical pull, horizontal press and a vertical press. Master those two angles in pushing and pulling. All you need to hit pushes and presses is a barbell. The second piece of equipment, which I just mentioned, is a power rack. Okay, power rack serves two primary functions. It has a built-in pull-up bar. Okay. If you don't want to get a power rack, say it's in your somewhere you can't put one, but you can put a pull-up bar, then mount a pull-up bar somewhere. But the power rack should have a pull-up bar on it, and it has J cups that you can adjust up and down for your squat rack and your bench press and your shoulder press, so you can rack the barbell on there, and load your plates and change the weights there. So that brings us to the lower body. Recruitment patterns you should be doing for the lower body are lunges, squats, deadlifts. lunges and squats covers uh, two primary functions the legs do. And if you get good at lunges and squats, just those two movements, then there won't be anything you're bad at. There's millions of variations out there, millions of machines, and it can be make things very cloudy, blurry. What should I do? Narrow it down. Focus on the things that have the most transfer. Right? If you have weak legs that can't squat or lunge, they're not going to be very good at anything else. Those are the foundation, the primary thing. If you want to get faster, say you're a football player, build stronger legs. That's the easiest way to get faster. Okay, if you want to run farther, say you're a long distance runner, build stronger legs. That's the easiest way to get improvement. If you're not doing squats or lunges, add that to your routine. You'll run farther. Uh, if you have a hard time climbing stairs at work, you're huffing and puffing after 2 flights, build stronger legs. Do squats and lunges. To do squats and lunges, you can do body weight and you can do it with the barbell. Put it on the back of the shoulders, do your squats and lunges. All right, so that leaves us with deadlifts. There's a couple different variations to do there. Good mornings, traditional deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts. Make your posterior chain stronger. That's all your muscles from your heels to your head. Okay, back, glutes, hamstrings. Train those. Make that backside stronger. That's your drive train. That's what's really is crucial for elite athleticism. And if you're just in it for fitness or you're trying to be an elite athlete, you both need a good posterior chain, good strong posterior chain. Without some variation of the deadlift, your posterior chain will be compromised. Even if you do squats and lunges and pushing and pulling, you still need to hit deadlifts. And the other two things I hit for the posterior chain with, as far as strength training goes, is cleans and snatches. So between those three, deadlifts, cleans, and snatches, my backside is fully trained. I don't have to worry about anything else. I can go in the gym and quickly program for myself what I'm going to do that day and not wonder if I screwed it up. Okay, as long as I'm hitting these patterns that I just told you about. Okay, presses and pulls, lunges, squats, deadlifts. Okay, and under deadlifts go cleans and snatches. And then that leaves just one more thing, which don't really need any equipment for, is some type of hip flexion movement like sit-ups and leg raises. Okay, train your hip flexors, make them stronger. Leg raises, hanging leg raises from the pull-up bar, toe to bar, do toe to bar. I bought a fancy GHD machine for sit-ups because I think that is the ultimate sit-up. But you can do all kinds of different sit-up variations and they're very good. Okay, don't need to spend money on a machine to do sit-ups. I also use that GHD machine for leg curls and back extensions, a couple other things. So those, as a strength and conditioning coach, those are the things I make sure my athletes are world class at doing. Because if they are super strong and coordinated and skilled in their pressing and pulling, lunge, squats, deadlifts, hip flexion movement, then there's nothing else I can't teach them. They can't jump in and do really well. They don't have any weaknesses. These world class patterns, these fundamentals, can be trained with a barbell and a power cage, power rack. So everything after that is nice to haves. After that, I would go for, I'd probably go for my cardiovascular machines. Actually, would be my next purchase. Um, the top three cardiovascular machines are the Airdyne bike, the fan bike, okay, the Concept 2 rower, and the Concept 2 skier. I have all three of those in my gym, and I don't actually. I'm very, what would you say, pleased. I don't ever wish I had another piece of cardio machine. That's it. That's all I want. I've tried all of them: steppers, ellipticals, stair climbers. Some of them I really like. I don't want them. I don't need them. Uh, I love that mountain climber machine. That thing's deadly. Stepper machines, old school stepper machines, those will kill you. Those are awesome. Um, do not like ellipticals at all. Not a fan of treadmills. They're nice if you live in the north in the winter. If you're gonna run, just go outside and run. You don't need equipment for that. Um, so those are the first, second, third, fourth things you need to save up and buy, put together, and then uh, you can do any strength and conditioning program out there, or at least create your own variation of it. Okay, so say I program um, a Metcon that you want to do, but I used kettlebells and I did kettlebell snatches. You can switch barbell snatches in for that. It's an easy fix. All right, so uh, say even with cardio machines, okay, you don't have the Concept 2 rower, you can do upright rows, sumo deadlift high pulls, which which uh, does trains the same recruitment patterns like I was talking about earlier as a Concept 2 rower. The angles are a little different, but both of them train the posterior chain, the knee extension, the quads, okay, the core, and both of them hit the shoulders, and both of them hit a pulling motion. This is a little different than this, but some people actually pull like this when they do the rower, so it's almost identical. Uh, you can sub things in. You're like, oh, I don't have all that equipment, so I can't do any of your workouts. You actually can. The substitutions are easy and just as effective. They're just different. Different doesn't mean worse. All right. The I don't know what's worse actually. The sumo deadlift high pulls or the rower machine. They're both uh, can create massive amounts of misery. So uh, to recap, in conclusion, best home gym equipment is based on what you need to be doing, should prioritize, and that's your presses and pulls with the upper body, your lunge, squats, and deadlifts with the lower body, and some type of sit up. With a barbell and plates, you can do all these things. And then second, you add a power rack, and then third, I would add those. It's nice to have just add those three machines: the fan bike, the rower, and the skier. Okay, so hopefully that helps you. Um, if you get a home gym put together and you want some programming, you want to put that equipment to best use, visit trainbydane.com. I have pre-built programs, and I also have ongoing uh, coaching. Okay, you can do. I post exactly what I do, and I have an app for that. Every day I post exactly what I do. You can train along with me, and I always explain the stimulus. I explain the stretches and the warm-ups that you should be doing. I explain all the whys and the hows. Okay, so if you don't just want to tear a page out of a magazine, you don't want a cookie cutter workout, then visit my website trainbydane.com. I'll get you some killer training that will morph you. So, uh, any questions? Comment below. Okay. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications, do all that stuff, and I'll talk to you later.